Hello viewers, I am Dr Manjula Surendra, a performing Veena artist working as Academy Coordinator and Master Tutor in Carnatic Music, Veena and Vocal at Singapore Indian Fine Arts Society, a 74-year-old premier arts institute in Singapore. It gives me great pleasure in bringing this three-part presentation to you all on Indian classical music and Carnatic music in particular. In part 1, you will see the origin, evolution and development of Indian classical music. In part 2, you will see the structure and development of Carnatic music. And in part 3, I will take you through the experiential learning process in CFAs and the structured curriculum that makes it a great place to pursue your passion in Carnatic music learning. Thank you for joining in, and please do watch all the three parts, and hope you will enjoy and benefit out of the trivia provided in these three presentations. Origin and history of Indian classical music. Indian classical music has a venerable past with diverse legends that has been mentioned in several ancient treatises and epics. But the one thing they all have in common is that the art of music had divine origin. The following shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam establishes the mythological origin of Indian classical music. Naham vasami vaikunthe, na yogi hridaye ravau, madbhakta yatra gayanti, Tratra Tishtami Narada. Vishnu says Narada, I reside in the heart of my devotees who sing and not in my spiritual abode, the Vaikuntha. Om is believed to be the philosophical origin of the musical sound. It is the cosmic sound or the pranava mantra that comprises of the three syllables A, U, Ma, indicating the continuity of past, present and future. It is this primordial sound that is believed to have initiated the creation of the universe. Moving on to the historical origin, according to the tradition, the earliest evidence of musical notes was found in the Samaveda, one of the four Vedas. Rigvedic hymns were sung and chanted initially using notes called Archika, Gathika, Samika and Swarantara. Later on, with the establishment of the Saptaswaras or the seven notes, they came to be called as Krishta, Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturtha, Mandra and Atiswarya. The instrument Veena is also known to have been played by the wife of the Yajnakarta during the Yajnas or the holy fire. With time, history of Indian classical music evolved. Three distinctive periods are traceable while graphing the growth of Indian music, namely ancient, medieval and modern. Ancient period spanned for about 2000 years, starting from 1500 before Common Era to 500 Common Era. The first 1000 years was called the Vedic age, when the monumental scriptures like the four Vedas, Upanishads and Puranas were written. Rigvedic hymns were sung and chanted with musical notes mentioned in the Samaveda. The instrument Veena was played by the wife of the Yajnakarta during the Yagas and the Yajnas. During the Yagas and Yajnas, the Vedic hymns were sung and the devotees went around the ritual fire, dancing to the accompaniment of string instruments and percussion instruments. Playing instruments in a group called Kutapa was also a practice in this period, which makes it the earliest form of orchestra. Both orchestral music and concert music of today can trace their origin to the ancient times. The concept of raga had not emerged. The music was tuned to saptaswaras and played on open strings. The rise and fall in the tune of the Vedic recitation was symbolically marked in the manuscripts, while the rhythm was indicated through specific finger gestures. Besides sacred scriptures, the monumental evidences in our temples and caves paintings and sculptures, and numismatic evidences have contributed in preserving the rich tradition of Indian music. Now, the next 1,000 years was the period when sage Bharata writes the magnum opus treatise Natya Shastra, Dattila writes Dattilam, Matanga Muni writes the Brihadeshi, and Narada Muni writes the Sangeeta Makaranda. This was followed by several other treatises and commentaries by great scholars that were instrumental in the evolution of music and other art forms. It is important to note that Bharata's classification of instruments into Tata, chordophones, Avanadha, membranophones, Surshira, aerophones, and Ghana, idiophones are universally relevant even to this day. Moving on to the medieval period, this commences from the 13th century when Sarangadeva makes an important contribution with his work Sangeeta Ratnakara. Ramamatya gives us the Sangeeta Sara, and Venkatamakhi pens the Chaturdandi Prakashika that establishes the raga system, raga classification, and much more. During this period, India is invaded by the Mughal rulers and Indian music gets impacted in the northern region. Mughal rulers patronized Persian and Arabic musicians, thereby bringing in a lot of Sufi, Qawwali, and other musical genres into India. This influences majorly the prevailing Indian music. As a result, Indian music branches out into Hindustani and Carnatic. The southern states of India, however, remain safe in the hands of Hindu rulers like the Vijayanagara kings and the Maratha rulers. Hence, Indian music continues to flourish in its pristine form in the southern states of India. By the 15th century, Bhakti movement prevails. It's in full gusto. Saint composers like Annamacharya, Purandaradasa, Tulsidas, Mirabai, and several others compose innumerable poems. While some are in praise of God, many others address social causes to the extent that the saints vociferously condemned blind beliefs and customs. Modern period begins from the 17th century when music flourishes and reaches its peak in creativity. It is in this period that the trinity of Carnatic music enrich the Carnatic music repertoire with a treasure house of compositions. This period is regarded as the golden era in the history of Carnatic classical music. With evolution of music on one side, there was parallel evolution in the structure and construction of instruments. Another important milestone in the history of Carnatic classical music in the modern period is the introduction of notation. For the first time during the 17th century, we see musical compositions being notated, which has contributed to the preservation of the treasure house of compositions. With this, we come to the end of part 1, the origin and history of Indian classical music. Thank you for watching, and please continue to part 2 for structure and development of Carnatic music.